Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to JAIIB English Medium channel. I hope all of you are doing fine. Today in this particular session, we will be talking about the IE and IFS subject. And in the IFS subject, what should be your priority while covering the module D? As you know that module D is the highly, you can say, recommended module which will be recommended by the aspirants as well as by us also. Reason being it has 17 units. So what is the recommendation here? Recommendation is to have all the 17 units completed comprehensively, because ultimately in the actual examination you will find many questions from this particular module, and what all subtopics are there in this module which are important for our examination of May 2026, that will be learning here. So let's get started with the first intro, that we will be providing you the comprehensive coverage of financial markets, because in module D, what is the prime theme? The theme is the financial markets only, and the financial markets are not only for India but the forex markets as well. So that we will be covering here, along with the specialized products, the insurance products, as well as your pension funds, and not only these but the para banking services as well. Okay, so all of them we will be covering in this discussion, starting off with the basic overview. So the overview states that we have good, you can say, scope of discussion when we talk about the financial products and services. So it all starts with the financial market, unit number 29. Then comes the specific markets as well, but mind it, unit number 29th will lay the foundation when it comes to the definition. So all the definitions which are very important for our examination, you must learn from unit 29th also, because ultimately the remaining chapters are an extension of the definitions, the discussion which we have done in unit number 29. So the price discovery we will be learning as the most important topic of your unit 29th. Then you can pick and choose in certain units the topics which are yielding benefit for the module D. So unit number 30th, money markets, you have call money, BRDS, LTRO, the government securities bond valuation theorem. Also we have the definition of primary dealers. You must remember that in the module D you know various definitions, that's one thing, but how the questions are asked, that you must remember, because in module D you will find good difficulty level when it comes to the questions. So primary dealers, you must be knowing that the banks participate as the primary dealers in various transactions. But what about those particular situation where the primary dealers are not the banks, they are the NBFCs? All those stipulations you must also remember. After that we have elaborate discussion around the unit number 31 till 45. Starting off with the capital market and stock exchanges. Here you will find that the capital markets, more or less, they revolve around certain types of arrangements. Fine, certain types of arrangements will be there, and mostly you will find the discussion around the stock market, that in the capital market how these arrangements go through, so via the stock exchanges. We will be having an elaborate discussion also about all these important topics. Just let me first give you the overview. So fixed income market, debt and bond market, here the government will be involved, also your corporates will be there. Then we have the forex markets, where not only within India but abroad also what all transactions are happening. Then comes the interconnectedness of market, the market dynamics as we call them. MBS, merchant banking services. What do we mean by merchant bank? How it is different from the commercial banking. Then derivatives market, very important. The underlying assets as we call them, the types of derivatives, very important. The process while doing the business is also of essence when we talk about the factoring. What is factoring? How you implement the factoring mechanism? Who is a factor? Can a bank be a factor or not? What about forfeiting? Whether it can be with course or without recourse. Then your trades. It is for the platform which is specifically for the MSMEs. So basics you must know, definitions you must know, but along with that you must also know that how these important processes flow. Then we have venture capital, a simple chapter, not that much important for the examination per se. Lease finance, hire purchase, and your the definition of the hire purchase. Yes, hire purchase definition is very, very important. Then comes some chapters which are of easy nature. You will be able to comprehend in a much better manner all these 4 chapters, because more or less you already know about them. Starting off with the credit rating for the individuals, credit scoring for the companies. Mutual funds, everybody knows that we talk about the NAV also, which is having one connotation in the form of formula based question. They can ask the NAV. Insurance products, more or less the schemes will be asked from this particular topic, the insurance products. Then we have the pension products, same, the insurance based the particular products of pension will be asked here. In insurance products, there is one indemnity clause from where the MCQ can be asked based on the formula. So, do not ignore the formula based questions when we talk about this particular insurance products, very, very important. Next, we have the parabanking services. We will be looking into the further discussion of the parabanking, how it happens in our country, whether it is important or not for our exam. Then investment trusts, very, very important, how the real estate investment trust functions. What is the function of the infrastructure investment trust? Why do we even have such kind of trusts? Everything we will be discussing now. So, what I have done is, I have organized them into themes. So, you will be having theme related to money market. So, here you must know the stipulations when it comes to the difference between call, notice and term money. So, for example, call is for 1 day, notice for 2 to 14 days, beyond 14 days you have the term money. What is the purpose? Fine. What is the purpose of these? All the very basic things, but the IIBF has asked from here as well. Then treasury bills, the types of T-bills we have in our country. Then certificate of deposit, commercial papers, how they are different from each other. What about the buyback clause? Such kind of questions, they are very, very important. These are the topics which you must cover when we talk about the money market. Then comes the capital market, the exchange per se. In capital market, more or less, you will be doing what? Trading will be there, fine. You will be doing trading, and you must focus right now for this particular chapter on the regulatory as well as the operational concepts. You must remember that how the SBA functions, what is the primary difference between primary and secondary market. Also, who all are the intermediaries involved, what are the role of those intermediaries, be it the NSDL, CDSL, what are the SEBI norms, because ultimately we are talking about the securities market, so the regulators involvement will be there. So, a very important chapter when we talk about the norms. So, from norms you can expect questions. Then comes the unit number 32. It is highly based on numericals, fine. When we say that module B is having good number of numericals, the formula based questions can be asked from there, but do not ignore unit number 32, because from here also we have seen question based on the bond valuation. So, the bond valuation theorem, very important. Yield to maturity, very, very important, how you will be calculating it. So, the practice of various formula based questions will sail you through the unit number 32. The key topics being government security, the auction process determined by the RBI, inverse relationship of yield and price, how the fluctuation happens in the yield. Okay. So, the formula of your yield, of your bond valuation theorem, and the processes which are involved, both are very, very important. Now, one more thing I want to state here is that in module D you cannot be choosy, fine. Pick and choose we can do in module A, B and C, but in module D you have to have a comprehensive preparation, because ultimately IIBF keeps on asking from such topics also which are not that important, fine. When you talk about the syllabus, there we find certain topics which are not that important, but IIBF will ask from there as well. So, keep this thing in mind while preparing for your module D, that everything is important. Then forex versus market dynamics, here how the forex markets function, and more or less from the evolution of forex market in our country, timeline based questions have also been asked, chronological questions have also been asked. So, the FEMA regulations whatsoever are mentioned in this forex market, more or less it is in the PPB subject, but yes, certain guidelines, certain definitions from FEMA are there in this chapter, so do not ignore them. Then comes the various rates, London based exchange rate, we have LIBOR, ARR is also there. Also the market dynamics, market integration, what is the contagion effect, how the negative impact spreads across the market. Like we had now the example of your Asian financial crisis, there the debacle started from where? Thailand, fine, and ultimately it spread over the entire Southeast Asian economies. Then we have the interlinkages between money, credit and forex markets, how they are interlinked, be it via the intermediaries, the participants, or for that matter the inherent nature of these markets. So two chapters clubbed together there. Then we have banking services and the derivatives. In the banking services, more or less you must know that what is a merchant bank. Fine. The definition of a merchant bank, how it has evolved. Again, evolution is very, very important. Fine. You will find that there are questions based on evolution as well. Do not just think that they are asking from the tough topics. No, easy topics also you should not ignore. So SEBI regulation, the licensing, underwriting activities, as we call the merchant bankers being the underwriter, how they are different from the commercial banking. Then derivatives basics, they will be asking, not that they are curious about the trading itself, but the basics, forwards, options, what do we mean by the futures, how we are trying to implement that, whether some type of derivative is in the foreign market only or for that matter specifically for the domestic market. Hedging tools, how we implement these hedging tools, the call, put, swaps, whether we can have a swap arrangement between the two corporates or for that matter within the interest, you can exchange the interest rate from one corporate to the another, shift the burden to the another corporate, let's suppose from Tata Industries to the bank, State Bank of India, whether such arrangement is possible or not. Then credit default swaps, the RBI guidelines and the ISDA agreement documentation, very, very important. The RBI guidelines you should not skip. Then comes the factor which we were talking about, factoring, forfeiting and trades. Here you must remember that how the process flows, fine, the process. Like when you talk about the with the recourse, without recourse, so factoring can be with or without recourse, but in India without recourse is not permitted. Forfeiting can only be without recourse. Same goes for trades, that it is for MSME, a basic platform for bidding. Okay, so simple areas you must focus first. Then comes venture capital. The stages are important here in case of venture capital, the seed stage, startup, early stage and so on. What about the exit routes? They are also very, very important. For hire purchase and leasing, the difference is very important. Operating lease, how it is different from the financial lease. What are the tax benefits, the depreciation rules and the legal aspects. Basically all those legal aspects are also very, very important when we talk about the hire purchase. Lastly, you will have some discussion around the credit rating. Fine, when we talk about the credit rating as such, AAA to D, how it is interpreted. The interpretation is very, very important. Then for mutual funds, you must know the formula of NAV. Every year they ask one question from here. For your credit score, we have for the personal loans, there you will find the focus on CIBIL and other CICs. Everything is important when we talk about the credit rating because it's a small chapter. Then comes the insurance and pension products. Mostly you must focus on the schemes. Pradhan Mantri, Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, SBY, or for that matter Bancassurance Principle, the Atal Pension Yojana, the schemes, their parameters, their features, they are of essence here. Then pension, tier 1, tier 2 NPS, what is the difference there? PFRDA, what is the role of PFRDA in case of pension? APY I have just told you. Then age limits, maximum questions, they are asking from the age limits only. Premium amounts, the sum assured value of these government schemes, these are the high yielding topics. Then we have the last two units clubbed together. One is your para banking, another one is your trusts, fine, the investment trusts as we were talking about. So what is the focus area here? In para banking services, mostly all the services, they will be asking you question of 0.5 marker, fine. So 0.5 marker, not that difficult. You can just have a glance through the para banking chapter entirely. Most you can say important focus should be on the cards, or for that matter wealth management, fine. So here it is written also cards and wealth management plus the SBA. But for the investment trust, your focus should be on the structure, how the structure functions for both types of investment trust, the real estate as well as your in ITs. Sponsor, trustee and the manager, how is this particular structure implemented in these trusts? 90% distributable cash flow must be paid as dividend. What about the calculation of this dividend? Not any formula, but the process, how it functions. Commercial property versus the infrastructure assets, fine. So for the commercial property, real estate, then infrastructure investment trust, we have invites, fine. So difference is very, very important, and these you can say structure, sponsor, trustee, manager, who can be whom, that is also of essence, fine. So yes, this was it for today's session. I hope now you are in a position to know that which topics to focus more and which topics you can have in the later stage of your preparation. So if you are preparing on your own, I would like to highlight that now the time is to start a dedicated preparation when you talk about the JAIIB examination, and for that we at Adda 247 have dedicated courses. JAIIB Mahapack 2.0 will be the best choice. Why it is the best choice? You can directly call us on 0981 981 9247 for a detailed discussion, fine. The team of experts will tell you that why this particular Mahapack will have all the things which you require to crack this examination. But overview, if I have to give you, then live classes are there, then you have the recorded videos, plus you will be having the revision classes also, the revision batches also in this particular Mahapack once we launch the revision classes. Then the mock tests, the test series, unit wise mock test, full length mock test you will be having here. Free PDFs from where we will be teaching you, that will be uploaded after the lecture is over. All these things you will be having in Mahapack. And if you want to know the discount code which you can apply for maximum discounts, it is Y1003. This is the discount code which you can utilize. Okay. So this was it for today's class. If you have any doubt related to the module D, feel free to ask me in the comment section. See you guys in the next video. Till then, goodbye everybody. Take care.